That's maybe what you see a little bit on shows like Selling Sunset, where you're going out, looking at the homes.
This is Glara. She went to the University of Southern California and studied business and real estate.
Decided to do it for 1 year and ended up surpassing all the goals that I had for myself.
She started one of the most successful real estate groups in the nation, facilitating multi-million-dollar real estate deals in Southern California.
We are a top 1% team across the nation.
Here's how you can replicate her success. This is her career playbook. Glara, thanks for joining us. Great to have you. First question we want to ask today is, what does it mean to be a real estate agent, and what does your day-to-day actually look like?
Yeah, I think to be a real estate agent actually is to be a real estate advisor. Most of what I'm doing is a lot of advisement for my clients, whether it's on long term real estate goals or short term real estate goals. My day to day pretty much looks like talking to somebody every single moment through the flow of a transaction, whether that's through call, text, or email, as well as connecting with other agents to help my clients attain what they're looking for.
Got it. And I know you specifically started your own real estate company, Lilu Vu Real Estate Group. Could you tell me more about, how your specific role fits into the overall business versus maybe other partners or employees?
Yeah. So I started Lilu View Real Estate Group after having worked with my mom as a business partner for about 5 years. We brought on two additional agents to fill what we saw as a need gap in our area. We have a lot of different language preferences, and although I speak Korean and English, we wanted to bring on a Mandarin speaker and a Vietnamese speaker. I have been in the industry actually the shortest amount of time. However, I'm the only principal agent because I do it full time with the most number of transactions on our team. I'm providing advisement to the rest of our team on all of their transactions and trying to get the quality of service across the four of us as consistent as possible without me having to be there all the time.
Got it. And just to go, super deep into the weeds so we can really understand what hour to hour, day to day you're doing. I know you talked about transactions. Could you walk us through a transaction recently that you worked on and what the actual process looks like from your end?
Yeah. So transactions for me and client advisement can start all at different points. I've worked with clients where they're talking to me even though they're 5 years out from purchasing a home. And what that looks like is how can I save money? How can I align myself to be better qualified with lenders? Where should I put my money? And goals on places that I should visit, conversations that I should have with myself, my family, or my partner about where I'd ideally like to move. Or sometimes I get involved in a transaction where someone has already established all of those things. They have their money ready to go and their lender contacts ready to go. And that's when we get into like the fun stuff. That's maybe what you see a little bit on shows like Selling Sunset, where you're going out, looking at the homes, going to open houses, seeing something you like, and committing to writing an offer. So, all of those negotiations, as soon as you like a home, that's what I take care of. So you say, "Hey, I really like the third house that we saw today. Can you talk to them and see how much we could get this house for?" It doesn't happen as quick as it does on Selling Sunset over one phone call, but that is kind of a majority of what I do when I'm in the transaction process.
Very cool. And I want to jump into a bit about your why. Can you tell us a bit more about why you picked this career path and to work in this field?
Yeah. So I was actually super confused when I was in college about where I wanted to end up in terms of career. I was in business management and I thought that I would want to do hospitality management. So I interned with Disney and other large hotel groups. And I found out the day to day of being a cog in a chain just was not a good fit for me. But I still wanted to be in a career that utilized some of the things that I enjoyed, such as marketing, operations, problem solving, as well as communication. And my mom had been doing real estate for over 30 years. And she said, "Why don't you come try it out? I think it could be a good fit." I decided to do it for 1 year and ended up surpassing all the goals that I had for myself. And 10 years later, we're still here. And I'm super proud of the team that we've built and the career that achievements that we've had.
That's awesome. And if you were to look back at your career so far, you briefly touched on this already, but was there a specific moment or story that comes to mind where you felt really excited or proud to be working in this industry?
Yeah, I think the moments that make me the most excited about my job is actually when I get to help friends or people that I've known in my life prior to this career. And real estate is something that touches everyone, right? Whether it's renting, buying, investing, or anything. And being a part of that process and journey and helping someone achieve their real estate goals, especially someone that you've been a part of their life in different ways, is probably the most rewarding part for me. So anytime that I have a friend that I knew when I was in college, when I was so confused, he gets to the point of buying his first house with his wife and they're having their first kid now. Moments like that really make this career worth it.
Nice. I know you mentioned when you first started real estate, there was that initial trial period where you surpassed a lot of your goals. And I'm curious now that you're been in industry for many, many years, do you have a sense on like what kind of people or what kind of qualities or skills, personality traits make someone a really good real estate agent?
I think a really good real estate agent is someone that's, like I said, a really good advisor, someone that can listen to their clients' needs and wants and tailor specific solutions for their problems or the goals that they want to achieve. In order to be successful in this job, you have to be able to be flexible, but within the boundaries and confines of the contract. So you do have to have some level of understanding. Minored in real estate law, so I feel like that really helps me understand the contractual portions and then come up with creative problem solving to target my client's specific needs. And I think that's why I'm very successful in this career.
Got it. And for our listeners, a lot of them are high schoolers or college students. Are there any ways that you would recommend people to start building those skills today?
Yeah. So, lucky thing, fun thing, fact about your real estate license is you can obtain it as soon as you turn 18. That is what I did. You can start taking the courses before you turn 18. So, I started those courses while I was in high school, actually. And if you are going through those courses and finding that you do not understand what they are saying or you think this is boring, probably not the career to pursue. But if you are reading those books and going through those classes and having a level of interest in what is being taught to you, then I would highly recommend getting your license as soon as possible. It's something you can just hold on to while you pursue college or finish other avenues of education.
Got it. That makes sense. And then when it comes to compensation, I know in real estate it works a little differently from your typical corporate job, but if you could
Yeah.
educate us on how, how much someone can expect to make in this field at different stages of their career, and what are the factors that influence that?
Okay. So, as a real estate agent, most real estate agents are what we call independent contractors to a brokerage. So, you may heard the names like Compass, Coldwell Banker, First Team, or all these other large brokerage names that you see across. Even though those companies exist, we are not salary employees. We have individual independent contracts with each and every brokerage, and we pay them a fee. Typically, that looks like a franchise fee, a marketing fee, or some sort of payment in exchange for utilizing their branding as well as their marketing materials and other tools such as CRMs, MLS, and other discounted vendor services. So the average first time agent will start off on a split at any of these companies at what we call like a 40/60 or a 30/70 split for most brokerages. Usually that's through your first year or first 12 transaction. And then eventually, when you get to a level, you renegotiate that contract every single year. The better you do, the higher split they're willing to give you, so on and so forth. So I'm now very privileged to be at a very high split with my company. Unfortunately, I cannot disclose that. But after you pay those fees, everything else is up to your discretion. So my team, we spend roughly 200 in marketing for our clients every single year. That is a personal budget that we've set for our team and our marketing. And then everything that flows in, we pay marketing out and the four agents are paid. Obviously, that depends on the deals and clients and all of that you're bringing in. Real estate, for the most part, in every transaction, we are being paid about 2 to 3% of the transaction. So if it's a $1 million home, we are being paid 2 to 3% on that, and so on and so forth. My team, our scale of homes that we sell range from about 1 million to 5 million, and then we're paid about 2 to 3% from there, split between myself and the other three agents, depending on their involvement in the transaction. My personal goal, my first year in real estate, was to $50,000. I surpassed that within the first year. That's net, by the way, after our marketing fees are split amongst the rest of us. And now I would say we are a top 1% team across the nation. And between me and my business partner and the other agents, we bring in over 1 million gross
Got
commission
it.
earned.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
super helpful context, and I appreciate you sharing that. Looking at the industry and the career as a whole, like how stable would you say this is? And if you were to look out maybe 10 years, how do you see that changing? Is it gonna stay a pretty stable career path, or what are you seeing?
Yeah, so I do see in terms of stability that there are a lot of different changes that are happening to our industry. We have a lot of salary agents that are coming into play, which you may have heard of in the news. So that's going to be your brokerages such as Zillow and Redfin that open up their own independent brokerages. They are actually bringing on what we call salary agents. So it's very different from what I do. The independent agents will not market themselves. They will not go out and seek clients or do client advisement. They are literally getting leads through the platform and being paid a salary to just go out and show the home. And then they're doing internal ops. I would say that's the biggest change I see to this job at this time. However, for luxury or we get into more client personal relationships, I do think that there is going to be a space for the top 1% of agents to still be very successful in this field. And to get into that top 1%, you are going to have to be open to spending some marketing dollars or bringing in a unique perspective or value to your clients.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like there's a variety of different ways to kind of get to where you are today, and like the industry is constantly changing. And I know you mentioned a little bit about your background story on how you ended up here, like working with your mother, minoring in real estate law. I am curious though, if you had to, I guess, design a playbook step by step for someone in high school or college to get to where you are now, selling a similar kind of home, is there a certain number of steps that you would recommend that people take, whether it's something that you did or something different?
Yeah, I think if you have no connections in the industry, you are just graduating high school, coming out with a real estate license, what I would do is go and find a team that is doing business in the way that you're interested in doing your business and see if they're willing to bring you on as an agent. I know so many teams in this area that are constantly looking to expand and bring on new agents. I would join, I would learn as much as I can until you have enough of a client basis so that you can go out on your own. Just know that when you go on out on your own, you are going to have to spend some marketing dollars, so be prepared for that. But I think learning from someone you look up into in the industry is probably the best and fastest way to grow in this industry.
Got it. And one last question that we have for you is, can you give us one piece of advice for anyone that's having a hard time finding or figuring out what they feel passionate about or something that they want to pursue?
Yeah, I think it's completely normal. Like I said, even throughout my 4 years of college, I was going to USC. I thought I was in business, which is this, and I was completely lost of where I wanted to end up. And I think that's so normal figuring out what you want to do for the rest of your life when you're 18 to 21 is actually so unrealistic. But if you're feeling lost, maybe take a good look at the life that you want to achieve and then the skill sets that you have and see how you can align those things. So, for example, for me, the life that I wanted to achieve is having a career where I can feel balanced. I wanted to have sufficient time to spend time with my family and friends while still making a certain amount of income in order to do the things that I enjoy, whether that be traveling, going to Coachella, or whatever. My skill sets involve communication, unique problem solving, operations, clienteling. So when I looked at those two things, I tried to see what career paths were available that could blend those two together.
Got it. Well, Glara, that pretty much wraps up the episode here. We'll include in the show notes or your Instagram and wherever else that listeners can find you at. But I feel like I learned a lot about what it means to be a real estate professional today. And we're really excited to share your career story with the next generation of students here. So again, thanks again for your time.
Thank you.